stone man. He's not part of the mega plan. So stone man. He gets off the beach of sand. He doesn't go on the sea of land. He doesn't go to understand. So stone man. What you say, he doesn't make a real man. He's not part of that mega plan. He's not addicted to fossil fuel. He's not gonna be no prostitute. He's not addicted to fossil fuel. He's not willing to be used. Stone man, you're not gonna be part of your plan. You're not gonna go use the tool. You're not gonna be some microphone. You're not gonna be a tool. All the girls on the beach should think you're cruel. So damn cool. So stone man, he's on the beach and sand. He's getting down as a plan. He's not gonna be addicted to you. He's gonna look for the truth. He's not gonna watch Fox News. He's not gonna be some Trumpster troll. So stone man, like the fuck out of the beach of the sand. You don't play with the oil for the soul plan. Don't play with that, you understand. You know he's gonna take a stand. He's gonna take a stand against the man. Gonna take a stand against the man. He's not part of the map plan. This is Fam Electric Ghost, and that is my alter ego, Josephine Electric, the lead singer of Fam Electric Ghost. This episode is Peg, Lick the Dust Off My Boots. So the story behind Josephine Electric is I, am a musician and a keyboardist, and for many years I never sang. I just created what I call expansive sound experiments. And then one day I heard about the Roland JDXI and how it was going to have the ability to have a VPO3 vocoder and some other vocoder capabilities. So I went and got that instrument and decided I was going to integrate the vocoder. And initially I did experiments with my voice and sounded kind of like, Transformers and heavy, deep bass sounds. And then I found the soprano setting, and the soprano setting on the JDXI created Josephine Electric. From then on, I used that soprano setting to create this character that is the lead singer, Josephine Electric, of Fam Electric Ghost. and she has this vibe that she is a phantom, she's a ghost, she's intangible and she can be tangible. She has a very strong sexual appetite. She's bisexual, she's transsexual, she's every type of sex that you could ever have. She, like I said, is a dominatrix. She's into fetish, bondage, grooves, and she just is a total, diva when it comes to anything that has to do with ecstasy or sex or passion. And then she has kind of a semi-violent nature where she can get pretty angry and vengeful. But the idea of her character, I just kept on refining it, added the MX1 performance mixer to change the levels on her voice, used Zoom R24's different sonic profiles to change her character. And then lately in 2018, 2019, I got the VT3 vocal transformer, which again gave us more capability with her voice. And so the album Dark Ghost was primarily done with that. And that's an unreleased album that we tried to put out through Diggers Factory Records. And we still have it on the shelf because now we've got a bunch of projects that we've actually signed with 2 labels, Mojo Heads Records. And for the song that's coming out this Friday, the 12th, we still have Some Personal Demons to Betray. We use the VT3 and VT4 of vocal transformers. The difference, the VT4 is polyphonic. The VT4 has a harmony capability, has a tighter control on the pitch, has a lot of different sonic profiles, has a noise cancellation switch. It's just a very powerful vocoder. We've gotten a lot of work on it lately. The album we're working on for the other label we signed with is called Violets, which is a Dark Ghost album, but it doesn't say it's a Dark Ghost album. But it's a bunch of songs that we created primarily this year. There are 2 songs that are old in our catalog that go back to 2016 that we've resurrected and remixed. And then we're using the ability of having a label and having actual recording engineers actually take our music and professionally record it. So we're very excited to have that done. We've been recording our own music and producing ourselves since 2008. And we were using Landar for a long time. We still use it, but it's cool to have recording engineers and producers actually involved in our work. We were the primary producer on all of our work, but we've had some people actually work it. At Mojo Heads, we actually had a co-production on the song You Still Have Some Personal Demons to Betray. And there's 2 versions of the remix, which is significantly altered from the original version. And even our original version, the lyrics were kind of moved around. But our original playing is pretty much there. But the way where they placed our vocals, there was a production, producer deference that we allowed on Mojo Heads to have a little bit more creative control with a 50-50 split on the production. When we're dealing with the other label that we're working with, the issue that, well, not an issue, but what we're doing is we're primarily doing most of our work. We are in a distribution deal. So with Bentley, they distribute our work and we pretty much have it done and just engineer it for us and help us with the design. But so a lot of the songs we've been creating this year for Josephine are using the VT3 and VT4 vocal transformers from Roland. And we exclusively use those. Unlike some people, we actually use the vocoder for the whole length of the song because that is Josephine. She's in character. That's what we do. And so you get a different feel than a lot of bands that use it for accents or just the emphasis on certain parts of their songs. It's an integral part of our workflow and our production because Josephine is in character the whole song. So we're using the JDXI or we're using the VT3 or VT4 through the whole song, which is pretty much a different use than what most people use it for. So Roland, we like to give them props. We're heavy Roland users. We use a lot of Roland gear. But, we don't still want to push them over. But, Josephine wouldn't exist unless we were using Roland vocoders. And Roland vocoders are some of the best vocoders I've ever used. And we're very excited to continue to use them. So, Roland, understand Josephine wouldn't exist without a JDXI or a VT3 or a VT4. So, Solar Stone Man, the first song here in this episode, where we're getting back to the point, lick the dust off my boots, but I was giving a little history on Josephine. She's in this dominatrix mode, and now she's actually found a man that actually is got her interested, because this man is standing up, and she's pretty excited about him because he's like an Adonis. He's like a real prototypical manly man. He's like all that. He's this guy who's on the beach. All the women and men wanna fuck him. He's just a total catch. He's built. He's like ripped, but not only that, he's not he's not a Trumpster. He's not somebody that's in love with MAGA. He's not like Make America Great Again. He's like the opposite. He's into clean energy. He's against the oil company. He's against the man. He wants to change the world, and he's not going to be part of the master plan of the MAGA hot hat Trumpster crowd. He's not going to be a tool of ignorance. He's going to try to push forward a more sustainable agenda, but at the same time, he's a total fuck. In terms of he's a lay. He's like somebody that everybody wants to get with. So he's not like a Woody Allen. He's not some nerdy, progressive liberal. He's kind of a strange bird. He's got the body of an Adonis, but the mind of like a Spock or something. So he's just somebody that Josephine's very enamored with, and so she's kind of talking him up. So Josephine, who normally is not very impressed with most men, is totally into this guy. And she's just praising him through this whole song, and basically the praises of the Solar Stone Man. And kind of stone rock abs and stone hard. You can guess what that is. But she's very impressed with him. And what we did with the song is we did a couple of things. We built a beat on a Moog Mother 32, and then we put it in a DFAM, and then we put it into a morphogene for Make Noise. Because we talked about before how Lollipop says how you can use a morphogene as a drum machine. So we basically wired it up to be able to take a drum sequence that we did on a DFAM, a drummer from another mother from Moog, and got it into a nice clip, which is more what you would say you would do on a typical sampler, but within a morphogene, it's more of a they have a different terminology for that. So it's more the morphogene. It's a gene. It's a splice, not a clip. And so we've got like a gene level, clip level splice thing going on, and we've got it on our loop through the CV, and then we played with it through our math module to kind of tune it a little bit. So we have a Make Noise math module, and we got it tuned to a certain sound. And then this song also is using the math module to modulate a Mother 32. And what we found is we like to manually modulate through the logarithmic and exponential modification that you can do on a math module to really kind of crank up the sound and make it very kind of angry, like Trent Reznor angry. And so this song is an analog creation. And then what we did is we went and created kind of a polyrhythmic, a little off the beat on purpose drum kit that we did on a Juno GI. We took a drum kit from a Juno and we manually played the drum kit on the 61 key keyboard. And we manually put it down. We did a couple versions of it we had a version that was totally in time, and then we kind of like this off time. This song is a little sonic dissonance in punk in a way. This is not using a drum machine in a typical way. We manually played the drums. We have a rhythm coming from a Mother 32, and the morphogene that's a little off the beat, a little timing not exactly in synchronous. And we put it out there on Instagram, and people seem to like it. We were kind of wary, was like, well, should we re-record it and like get everything all timed together? But sometimes there's a reason to actually keep something a little off, and this song is off. I know it's off. I know people would go and say, hey, the timing's off, but I think it sounds good the way it is. I think it has a character to it that's not typical. And if I went back and tried to clean it up and re-record it, which I might eventually make a version, if I ever play it live, I probably, I can still recreate this situation live, because I can just do the same drum beat that I was doing on the Juno and play it the way I was doing it. And, I'm thinking of doing a Facebook Live to promote some of our new releases. Like we have releases coming out on the 12th and the 17th. So we're thinking of doing a Facebook Live, and this song specifically, Solar Stone Man, we might play a live version of it. The other song that we did was another kind of like, I was a little off, on my CBD, and I was like tired from rideshare, Ubering, and lifting, and I created a really dissonant kind of run through live demo called "Lick the Dust Off My Boots," which has got Josephine kind of in her, well, Josephine not kind of, she's in her dominatrix mood, and she's just totally kind of fucked up, and she's high, and she's a little lucid, and she's drunk, and she's kind of pissed off like she normally is, and she's just going off about a partner that's not like Solar Stone Man, a guy that's kind of maybe more of a Woody Allen, maybe a guy that's like not really exciting to her, so she's just gonna abuse and use him in her alpha mode, and she's just going off on him, and he's taking the whip because he likes it, but she's just whipping him up psychologically and physically, and just fucking him up. And I don't know if this song will ever come out officially. I put it on my SoundCloud, but I don't know if I'm going to release it. I've had some people say they really like it. It's a very different. It's kind of like what Lou Reed did on White Lake White Heat. It's a little off, and I had the original version without the guitar on it. That's more that's tighter, but the lyrics are real. I was in a weird state when I did those lyrics, so it is what it is. And sometimes we like to just put experiments out. We're expansive sound experiments. That's what we do. We like to play with music and use all kinds of tools to expand. Lately, we were watching a Roland documentary that goes through the whole history of Roland, and I've heard some people just like slamming Roland all the time and pushing up Behringer, but it's like Behringer just cloned stuff that Roland did or Prophet did. They're not really creating a lot of original machines. Now people would say, oh, well, they've got the Neutron. Oh, they've got some other things. Yeah, but they primarily are making their claim off of things that other people built, which, I'm not really into as much as, Roland still creates a lot of good material. Like an RD2000 is a really good machine. A System 8 is a really good machine. The VT4 is awesome. VT3 is awesome. And the SEO2 is awesome. So, in the keytar they just put out, it is a significant keytar. It's probably one of the best keytars that have been out in 10 years. And so Roland's always getting minimized for what they do. But, and just remember, the System 700 is a full analog machine. So I don't know what some people on the net are talking about, how they're not doing things. The System 700, if you go and spend the $2,000 on it, it is an amazing machine. It is a significant machine. The System 8 can do things that the Juno 106 and the Jupiter can't do. They can play together. They can layer together. You can't do that in the old world. So they've got some really good machines out there. Now, they haven't created a new Phantom, and the Jupiter 50 and Jupiter 80 maybe weren't what everybody wanted, but they are still good machines. I would love to see them actually go forward with a lot of the ideas they have and see if they can combine something like what's in a System 700, what's like a System 816. I've said this before, like make a Jupiter 16, a 16 voice Jupiter based on the original design, have the structure of the original machine, kind of like what they try to do with the Jupiter 80 and 50. I think a lot of people would want that. But there also is some cool stuff they're doing with the System 8. And so if they would make a full-sized 61 key, 81 key System 16, have it have like wood end cheeks, have the full control of what a Jupiter physically looked like. If a lot of people like that iconic design, even a JD like 800, that was or JP 800, that was an awesome machine. So the Roland still has a lot of cool machines, and I've kind of vacillated on whether or not my next machine would be a System 8, just because they've got some really good stuff you can do with a System 8. And there's a lot of other synths out there, but in terms of a workhorse synth that's dead reliable, that you can bring to a gig and give you the sounds that you want and be able to recall them pretty quick and also modify things, it's hard to see a synth as good as a System 8 that's easy to bring around, not too heavy, and it's got a lot of capability. I'd be hard pressed to find a synth that's as good as that for the money. So there's not a big Roland thing. I'm a big fan of Moog. I would love a Moog one. I would love to have a Quantum Waldorf. But if you're a working, gigging musician and you want to have something that can really give you a lot of sounds and a lot of capability, it's be hard pressed to find something better than a System 8 with a sequencer and the capability of what it has. And I've seen a lot of gigging musicians actually using it for that reason. Just like you could use an FA08 is dead reliable, and you've got Integra module, pretty much like half of an Integra module, which is an amazing capability and a history of sounds. My Juno GI, which is 8 years old, is a lot of what you hear in Phantom Electric Ghost is coming from a JDXI. I mean, a JDXI and a Juno. And then I add, the analog synths that I add from Moog and Arturia and my Euro racks. But the primary stuff, the pianos and the guitars you hear, is all coming from a Juno GI. And it's that Roland legacy. So for people who are saying that, Roland's like dead or something, or it's like they don't know what they're talking about, because Roland's still got a lot of really cool stuff. And I don't want to be an apologist for Roland. I use material, like I said, from Moog, from Pittsburgh, Modular, from Arturia, from Make Noise. I'm looking to get a Prophet XL. So, I like everybody, and I do like the Behringer stuff, but, I like guys who actually create innovation, like Teenage Engineering and my OPZ. Now that is an amazing machine, which I've created 2 records already, and a lot of the stuff on Violets, there's a lot of stuff that we used from the Teenage Engineering. So, Teenage Engineering has some really cool things. They got a lot of good bones to what they're doing. So, this is not just an advertisement for Roland. We like a lot of people, and I like Make Noise. The Morphogene is a revelation. We use it all the time. The Mass module is all over Violets. It's been heavily used in the last year since we bought it for a lot of things. And our Arturia Mini Brew 2S and our 6U Eurorack are prominent capabilities that have been used for the last couple albums, like the Flower That Blooms in the Midnight in the Tomb, Ratchet Symphony No. 8, and a lot of Violets has all been engineered and played and produced using these tools. And the Juno GI, which is an old board that some people would say, well, how could you use that? But it's like, you can use anything. You can use a Casio. I mean, I could go take a Casio CZ101 and I could make a record with that. It's kind of like you take the tool, then the sound that it gives you, and you don't let somebody say, well, like Roland's dead because they think it's dead. I'm sure there's tons of things you can do with all Roland stuff that's out there right now. And I could take an Axe Edge and do amazing things with it. I could take the JDXI and do a lot of things with it. So I could take an RD2000. I could go take a Casio or a little Yamaha, little $100 keyboard and do something. It's a matter of, as a musician, you can do whatever you want. And it's not necessarily the board that's going to give you the amazing capabilities. Kind of like it's your musician capability, you can take anything. Like Jack White can take a $100 plastic guitar and make something amazing. So, you don't need a $4,000 crazy synth to great art. You could take a lot lower end synth, and if you've got the bones as a musician, you can bring out the capability of that instrument because you've got an ear for what you want to do, and it doesn't really matter as long as you can play it and you can make it come to life. So I'll stop and we'll talk to you later. And again, Before 12 is our first signed, released with a record label, Mojo Head Records. We're going to have, you've got a lot of personal demons to portray on all the streaming services, so check it out.
Love is like sawdust on a barroom floor. It catches to your booty, yours that you want more. Love is like sawdust on a barroom floor. Catches to your thigh, booty, yours that you're a whore. You want more, and you want more, until your soul is reborn, and you'll be torn from this pain, and you'll be born. And love like a sawdust on a barroom floor, and the G-R-R-L. Boy, you want more, until you're torn from this earthly world. You won't be back to those boys or those girls. You love it like stardust and it's torn. I'll let it off your booty, you'll get born. So torn, it's against the norm, but your soul will be reborn. So torn, like sawdust on the barroom floor. It's sticking to your bouillon and you want more. You're kind of torn. Why don't you go get born? You're kind of torn. You're kind of torn. You just don't learn how much you will burn. I look like sawdust on a barroom floor. You got that booty out, and then you want more. You're some kind of yo. Why don't you go get born? From this earthly world you'll be torn. You're so downtrodden and worn, and you know you've been worn. You've been worn. It looks like a sawdust on a barroom floor. It's sticking to your booty, you don't want more. You're so kind of hard. What good work they want. downtrodden, your psyche's worn. Oh, you've been warned. Oh, that sonic scream is just being torn. Oh, you're being torn. Hello, like sawdust on our barroom floor. Sticking to your bone, yours until you want more. Oh, you sound kinda hollow. Oh, I think you've been warned. This electric told you you've been warned, and now you're reborn.